Preparing to transfer now. This is your last chance to bail, June.
Do it.
Exodus is an upcoming space RPG promising a rich story and a heavy focus on choice and consequence. Here are 8 things I want from the game. Number 1. Bad choices. Exodus is supposed to be a game with high stakes. You go on a journey to save your world from a cataclysmic future, and I want it to be real. The game is about player choices and difficult decisions, but if every decision ultimately leads to success, what exactly are the stakes? Where is the tension? I want the choices to actually have meaning and sometimes bad consequences. In a lot of games, you embark on a dire quest to save the world, and then, no matter what you do, no matter what choices you make, you eventually just naturally succeed in your task. And depending on the game's storytelling, that might be fine, but in a story-heavy game like this, I want to feel the weight of my choices. I want some decisions, or rather combinations of choices, to make it impossible or at least very difficult to reach my goal. Or make it a bittersweet victory, where I do achieve my task, but the cost is very high. Number 2. Bad choices. No, this is not a déjà vu. This is about choices with, let's say, alternative moral compass. In Exodus, you should be able to create your hero's legacy. The world doesn't know who you are yet, and I want to have options. Of course, I want to play a hero at least once, but if I play the game multiple times, I would also like to explore some less altruistic paths. The main character is the heir to the Aslan Empire who had their fate stolen from them. Maybe I want revenge. What if I want to help the world for personal gain? Of course I will save it, but I want to save it for myself. I want to destroy my opposition, take hold of this world and make it bend to my will. Or something like that. You get the idea. Number 3. Meet the Elohim. Elohim are the most powerful celestial species in the Centauri cluster, and I want to meet them. It doesn't even have to be a face-to-face meeting, but I want an interaction that sheds some light on this mysterious race. And even though a face-to-face meeting is an option in my opinion, as the Traveler's Handbook proves that Elohim are still around, the lore offers several other options to have a close interaction. A simple option is through some Elohim technology, similar to the Protean VI in Mass Effect. More interesting would be maybe through a Crown Celestial's memories. The Elohim vanished roughly 6,000 years ago, but some Crown Celestial mind lines are around 10,000 years old. That means there is a significant overlap. That means some characters in this universe lived during the Elohim rule in the cluster and may remember it. Celestials also have neural paths that can be used to communicate with another creature, or even share memories. We know that June, the protagonist of the game, also has a neural path, so we could meet a Celestial that is willing to share the memories. There are also the Moaksha, changelings that are specifically designed to store memories in great detail. Some Moaksha could certainly hold memories of the Elohim. And those are just a few options that have been revealed. Who knows what else is hiding in the cluster? Additionally, it has been revealed that our task in the game is to fix the Archimedes engine of Lydon. That is Elohim technology and no one knows how it works, which by itself is a big reason why we should meet the builders. In the end, if we don't meet the Elohim, I will call for a riot. Number 4. Become a Silicate. I am not sure how doable this one is. This option may be too drastic for the storytelling, but I also think it would be a really interesting path to explore. Becoming a Silicate changes everything about the person. Your physical abilities and even your mind changes into a living weapon. Silicates are already well-established creatures in the lore, and even mentioned as one of the few things that strike fear into celestial minds. I would love to have an option to turn one of our companions into a celestial, and while at it, I think it would be cool not only to push someone else into that change, but also to have that option for our own character. When you look at the Traveler page, this is basically the page for June, our character. I think this picture is a showcase of some options for your character's appearance, and with a Silicate in that picture, maybe turning into one is not completely out of the question. It would be quite interesting to see how our journey shapes from that point. Number 5. Unannounced Changelings and Celestials. The Exodus team already showed many different Celestial and Changeling species from the universe, but they also say there are basically no limits to how the Celestials or the Changelings can evolve. So I really hope they are saving some surprises for the game. After all, we will be exploring many lost or unknown places, so I want the game to have some species that have not yet been anywhere else before. I don't want to feel like a visitor in a museum where everything is already explored and I am just taking the tour with a guide. I want to be the explorer that has the chance to meet something that hasn't been seen before. Number 6. Constellation Tattoos. According to the Traveler's Handbook, constellations are genetic tattoos and a common habit among travelers. It is a symbol of membership, but also an important tool. These tattoos remain invisible until the owner flexes their muscles in a specific way. They are used to show the traveler's past journeys, explored planets, and achievements, basically a summary of the traveler's life, either to brag about past adventures or a nostalgic reminder of what was lost. I think these tattoos are a really cool idea, and it would be nice to see how our tattoos develop during the course of the game. Maybe even seeing different tattoos in different playthroughs as we make different choices. And I believe including those tattoos is actually planned. If you look at the picture I showed earlier, the woman looks like she is covered with one of these constellation tattoos. And I am sure that if it's actually the case, we can be looking forward to players sharing and comparing how their tattoos develop in their games. Number 7. High Variability. The Exodus team promises a deep branching story with paths that can be very different from each other, and I want that promise to come true. If I make different choices in the game, I want the story to feel different. Too many times we've heard these promises and the result was mediocre. Too many times when you play a so-called decision-heavy game and compare two playthroughs with opposite decisions, you find out not a lot has actually changed. This game promises actual meaningful choices that will heavily influence the characters, factions, stories, and options you see in each playthrough. This was actually mentioned multiple times in the Q&A, and the devs claim that different choices will lead to completely different outcomes that other players may not even see. So all I want is for this promise to be fulfilled. And finally, number 8, Kickstarting the Exodus series. Even though we are still waiting for the first game, I am already in love with the Exodus universe. I read the novel, I have the handbook, and I ordered the encyclopedia. I am trying to keep up with all the news from this universe, yet I feel like we are still just scratching the surface. The Centauri cluster already has a rich history, and there is so much to explore. So many possibilities and so many potential stories to tell. There are faraway systems that we won't even be able to explore in the game simply because they are too far away. I really hope this game is a success and we will see a lot more from the universe in the future. So these are my 8 things I want from the upcoming Exodus game. What else do you want to see? Let me know in the comments. Have a great day and see you next time.